What a mess, what a mess, what a mess. My house is a mess. And let me tell you about my day today. I know I don't normally share this stuff, and it isn't for any particular reason other than I feel like the stuff that I share is more important. But people need to I feel like people need to know that other people who are online, share your same issues. Not all of them, but many of them. So this morning, after not sleeping most of the night, because I still have this cough that comes up randomly, but mostly at night, where I just cough and cough and cough until I can barely breathe. So I didn't get much sleep. I had to get up early this morning to take my son to work and to drop the dog off at the vet, which means we needed to leave our house by 7 a.m. Now, I know that a lot of you who work, you leave your house before 7 a.m. all the time, and kudos to you. Me, not so much. I try not to leave my house before 7 a.m. ever, because I feel like as a stay-at-home mom, when I leave the house, that's the end of my day at home. So, take my son to work, drop the dog off to the vet, stop at my daughter's house to pick something up. So that took me until, let's see, I got back home about 9 o'clock. So I got home at 9 o'clock, and then I started to take my kitchen apart a little bit because I'm tired of all the dishes that there always are. So in the past, I've done crazy things like taking all the dishes out of the cabinet and only left one for each of us. Not quite going that far, but I am only leaving a place setting for when the entire family eats together. And not really the entire family, because I never really have more than 6 people come over for dinner. So 8 plates, 8 cups, 8 mugs. That's it. That's all we're doing, because when the cabinet is empty, it'll force people to do dishes. And if I only have 8 instead of 16 of everything, then there will be less dishes on the counter and more people will do dishes, right? Right? We'll see. Anyway, so I start taking my kitchen apart so I can reorganize. I have a very small house, and I'm consistently trying to downsize because it's hard to give up things that I have. Because, well, I've said before, I'm a dreamer. I could use that for this. I would like to use that for that. I like to host, so I like to have all the things, the platters and the pitchers and the things. But reality check, in my home, I don't even have a table big enough to put a platter on. I have to serve off of the counter or off of my stove. And that's just where I am right now. And it's okay, but I'm hanging on to things because someday I might be able to use them. So trying to downsize and bring a little bit more order, because reality is that the more you have, the more you are a slave to taking care of those things. So packing some things away, giving some things away, sending them to Goodwill, whatever the case may be. But anyhow, I take everything out of my cabinets, I put back in what I want, and I get a call from a friend who says, "Oh, I'm having car trouble. Can you drive me to and from work today?" Great, no big deal. What time do you got to be there? I have to be there at 10:15. Okay, great. So now it's 9:30. I say that I'll take her. So I we get ready. I get in the car. We go over there and pick her up and take her to work and come back. Okay, so now we're arriving back home and just getting started on the project, and it's probably 11, I guess it's like 11:15 when I get a text message from another homeschooling mom who says, "Okay, we're arriving." And I'm thinking to myself, arriving where? Are you sure this message is for me? So I text her and I say, "I don't know what you mean. Are you sure this text message was for me?" And she's like, "Yeah, you were supposed to meet us at Chuck E. Cheese today." So I had read a bunch of text messages yesterday, but I was reading so fast that I missed the point where I was invited to go with a couple of other homeschooling families to Chuck E. Cheese today. They were doing a special, giving extra tickets for kids if they were dressed in their costumes, yada, 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 whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, fortunately for me, I only live 15 minutes away from Chuck E. Cheese. I'm like, we'll be there at 11:30. So 11:12, I'm like, get your shoes, get your costume on, get your shoes, get your socks. You can put your shoes and socks in the car. Let's get in the car. Hurry, hurry, hurry. This seems to be my life. Remember, anytime I leave early in the morning, regardless if I ever get to stop home again, it seems like the day is over. So we're at Chuck E. Cheese. We get in line. We get our tickets. The kids are off playing. We're going to order our food. And I get a text message from the vet saying, it's 11:30. Your dog is out of surgery. She's doing well. We'll be contacting you soon to come and get her. All right. Now, still have a lot of things to do. So I told my son, we have 45 minutes for you to play games, 15 minutes for you to eat your lunch and spend your tickets, because we have to be out of here by, I think we had to be out of there by 10 minutes to 1, because then I still had to go pick my friend up from work and bring her home. And then I'm just hoping that the vet is going to be not calling me to give me my instructions until after that. So go pick up my friend, take her home. And then I'm like, okay, so I don't want to go all the way back home, because now I'm halfway between me and the vet is quite a ways out west. And so I'm like, okay, so what other things do I have to do? So I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to run to Kohl's and do my pickup. So I went to Kohl's, I picked up my thing. I needed to get a black shirt for Sebastian for a funeral that we're going to this weekend. So I ran inside, I picked up my stuff, I grabbed a shirt in his size, and I thought, oh, I would really like to have a black bracelet. I like to wear jewelry. And so let me see what's on sale. And I went and I didn't really like anything. And here's where my crazy start. This is going to be my crazy on mild here. And so I thought, oh, I really don't want to spend $28 on this bracelet. I can make it. So I'm like, oh, so we run over to Hobby Lobby, and I'm like, oh, at Hobby Lobby, you don't do digital pay. And I didn't bring my wallet. I only have digital pay. So I'm like, okay, what now? So I go from Hobby Lobby and I run over to Michael's. While in between Hobby Lobby and Michael's, I get the call from the vet saying, da-da-da-da-da, your dog is fine, yada, yada, yada. Here's all your instructions. You can pick her up anytime after 2:30. And I'm like, okay, well, it's 2:15 and I am going to run this last errand. So I run the last errand. I go over to Michael's. I pick out my stuff and I pay. Okay. This is really crazy, guys. And so now I have all the things to make the bracelet that I want to make. So my $28 bracelet at Kohl's, let's just go through this real quick. My $28 bracelet at Kohl's, it was 30% off on sale. I had a 20% off coupon for purchasing with my Kohl's card, and I get a 15% discount because I work there. But that was too much money. So I went over to Hobby Lobby where nothing was on sale. I bought all the parts to make the bracelet, and it cost me $50.47. Woo! Okay, so that being said, my bracelet would be exactly what I want it to be. Nonetheless, I'm in a hurry now, so I'm not really calculating that. I pay for my stuff at Michael's, I go jump in the car, and I head toward the vet where I need to pick up the dog. And so I go inside and I wait and I get all my instructions and my dog is fine, and I hop in the car and I'm headed home and I'm processing all these things, and I shot a quick video for y'all, and I'm doing my brain bouncing thing, right? I'm looking at the beautiful landscape and I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a dress that is those colors, those autumn fall colors? I'd love to do like a granny square type dress with those colors. That'd be so cool. And I'm thinking about that. And then I'm over here and I'm going, oh, and I could make myself a resin necklace pendant with fall flowers in it, and wouldn't that be cool? And then I'm bouncing over here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I still have all this work to do. And it's now 4:15, and let me see, what can I plan? How can I get this done? And fortunately, my son went over to play at a friend's house somewhere in there. I dropped him off somewhere. It didn't even count that. And so now I'm by myself. So yay, I don't have to make dinner. Oh, but maybe it would be a good time for me to pull the dishwasher out and try to fix it. And then I walk through the door and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I haven't done laundry. I need to do laundry. So let me sort the laundry real quick and throw a load in. And I sort the laundry and I go to the kitchen because I wanted to get the towels that were in the kitchen to include them in the laundry. But while I was in the kitchen, I realized that there were all these dirty dishes on the counter and something smelled. And so I turned on the water to warm it up. And as I turned on the water to warm it up, I remembered that the dog's food now has to be softened because she had oral surgery. And so let me go get the dog's food and put the hot water on it so it'll soften the food so that it'll be cool enough by the time I leave so that I can can feed her. Okay, so now I've got the dog's food sitting on the counter, getting dried. I have no memory of why I went in the kitchen in the first place. So I go back to the bathroom because I think I'm going to brush my hair and I'm going to put my hair up. I'm going to put some jewelry on because I had no jewelry on this morning. And I go into the bathroom and I'm like, oh, but I'm not going to go to Bible study looking this, so I'm going to go change. I'm going to put a long sleeve and a vest on out of my sweatshirt. So before I do my hair, I'm going to go change my clothes. So I go change my clothes, and while I'm in the bedroom, I realize that my bed hadn't been made. And I really hate getting in my bed at night when it hasn't been made because everything's wrinkly. And I like to get into a bed that's nice and smooth. And so I make my bed really quick. And then I go back to the kitchen and I'm like, oh, something really smells in here. So I go back to doing the dishes and thinking about how it smells, and I'm going to find it. And I open the trash and I'm like, oh, it's probably the trash. So I take the trash out, I go outside, I come back inside, I go in the bathroom for some reason. And I'm like, oh, I'm in the middle of putting laundry in. Oh, that's right, I need a towel. So I went into the kitchen to get the towels, and I realized that there's a big stack of dishes all over, and I had the bin right there that I was going to put the dishes in to take them downstairs. And so real quick, I'm going to put those dishes in the bin. All the while thinking, and I really got to read James before I go to Bible study tonight. And now it's, I guess it was like 4:45. And so I pick up my Bible and I go and I sit down and I look over here, and guess what I have sitting next to me? Crochet, which reminds me that I really want to make that dress. And so I get up and I go outside on my front porch because that's where my yarn is. And I start going through the yarn to see if I have anything that's going to work for that. And then I'm like, you are being so silly. You do not have time to make a dress. Go back in the house. So I went back in the house and I sat down with my Bible so that I could read the few verses that I need to read for tonight. But as I started to get reading, I started thinking about the video that I made earlier about being distracted from your joy and just focusing your eyes in the right place, right? Well, every single minute since I've been in the house, I've been do, and my eyes and my mind have been focused on nothing. Now, do I have ADHD? No, I don't have ADHD. I have busy mom syndrome. So this morning, so then I thought, I'm going to shoot you a little video. So I popped up a video and I'm like, da, 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 and I thought, I don't like that. That's so random. Shut it down. You still need to read your Bible. Sit down and read your Bible. So I sit down and read my Bible, and I realize I never hit go on the washing machine. And if I hurry up and I go hit go on the washing machine, it'll be done before I leave for Bible study. And I can put that load in the dryer and put another load in the washer so that when I get home, I can change those loads. All makes sense, right? Well, then I look in the mirror and realize I have not brushed my hair yet. So I brush my hair, I put on a little makeup. I'm like, oh, my jewelry, go get my jewelry, put my jewelry on. Still did not hit go on the washing machine, hit play on the washing machine. So I go back to the bathroom and I hit go on the washing machine, and I'm like I'm standing in my hallway going, looking around at the mess and going, how did you start 9 different projects in one day and make this big mess? But I don't have time anymore to do anything. So I sit down to read my Bible and I think, that is crazy. Somebody's got to relate to that, right? Now, it is now 5:10. I have Bible study at 6 o'clock. I have almost finished reading my Bible study, and now I have had time, 13 minutes and 30 seconds at this point, to share with you how my crazy brain works every day. What I haven't shared with you yet is that it's okay. It is okay. Guess what? The world's not falling apart because my house is untidy. The world is not falling apart because my dishes are not all the way done. The world is not falling apart because I was not home all day. And the only thing that I need to realize is that all of that busy. And there were moments where I did refocus my eyes on Jesus as I was driving. It is honestly one of the times of richest time that I have with Jesus, especially when I turn everything off in the car, because there's nothing else there to distract me like my home does. So if you're a stay-at-home mom and your home distracts you like my home does, I understand. There are so many things to do every single day, and some people are really good at getting it all done and some people are not. But for me, even though right now I have 30 minutes before I have to leave my house to go to Bible study, which is not an option. We don't stay home from Bible study to clean. We don't not read our Bible when it's time to clean. We don't not go to church to clean. I mean, maybe if somebody had thrown up all over the place or something of that nature where cleaning was necessary, we might be late for that. But that's not the type of clean that I'm talking about. Don't let your busy and messy lifestyle get in the way of your relationship with the Lord. That's not to say that it never has to get done. It does. We all know that. Eventually, we have to do our laundry so that we have clean clothes to wear, and the dishes need to be done so that we have something to eat on. But it is not the end of the world. And now I've lost my train of thought, just like I have been doing all day long since and at home mostly, but since the moment I got home. Boom, 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 boom. But you understand. I know you do. Thank you for spending this time with me and listening. I hope somebody finds some comfort in the fact that you're not alone. If that's you, especially when you have small children and there's so many things going on. And if you're a homeschooling mom, the house is always got something that needs to be cleaned up because we live here every single day. And we're always moving on to the next thing before the first thing is finished. And that's because time is short. And for me, I would like to have a clean house. I would like for my laundry always to be done. And there was a time in my life where that was pretty much true. Like my laundry was almost always done. My dishes were done every single day. My floors were swept more than once a day. And, you know, my kids were bathed. I mean, like all the things. I did all the things. But I always found time to be short in the things of the Lord. And when I was busying myself with that, though I love my kids and I love that, there was an emptiness inside of me because there really wasn't enough time in the day for me to fill myself and to do all that stuff. So my roles are a little bit reversed and I wish they were a little bit more balanced, but I do more enjoy spending time doing the things that help to build me up spiritually, which helps me to be a better person to those around me, helps me to be kinder and more loving to my family and to my friends because I'm filling myself. And from the outpouring of our heart, what's in our heart is what comes out, right? So I need to fill my heart with the things of the Lord, whether that's reading my Bible or listening to worship music or reading even reading a good book. It might even be a work of fiction. But whatever we do, however we spend our time, we need to be sure that we are in a right place with the Lord, that we're asking Him for that wisdom of how to spend our day, that we are stopping and taking time for the direction that He's taking us. A lot of times He will take us down a path and you'll be somewhere where you don't know why you decided to say yes to that, but you get someplace and something happens. You're like, I would have missed that. I would have missed that opportunity to pour into that person's life, or to see something amazing, or to have someone pour into my life. Because I was like, nope, gotta stay home today. Boom, 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 boom. Gotta get my laundry done. Gotta get the dishes done. Gotta clean the house. Okay? Go with the leading of the Lord. And many times, it ain't the chores that are what are going to be the thing that fills us the most. Well, this has been a really long video, and I appreciate you sticking it out to the end. Sometimes it's really hard for me to make videos because there's so many things that I want to talk about, and my mind feels like what I just described as is trying to get my laundry done and the dishes and the dishwasher fixed and the things put away and changed and my hair brushed and all the things, right? So sometimes it is really hard. So it looks like sometimes that this is relatively easy, but there are days where I sit down several times and I want to say something, or I'll start the video 6 or 7 times, but I can't focus my mind and in my words and my thoughts in order to give you really what's going on in my heart. So pray for me. I could use it. We can all use it, right? I have other people praying for me. it is a trial. The more videos I make and the more people who watch them, it seems that the more resistance I get to being able to post. And I say that out loud as a, for myself, really, to say you need to keep on resisting the temptation to quit, resisting the temptation that if it's hard, we're not going to do it, resisting the temptation to think nobody wants to hear what I have to say, resisting the temptation to share Jesus, both when I am physically with people or on this platform. Jesus is the key. He is the key. And even on those bad days, he can give us that peace and that joy. It doesn't make the bad days go away, but it does make us more able to bear up under the weight of our circumstances. And Satan doesn't like that. He does not want us feeling good. He wants us to be miserable. So don't let him win in that. Fix your eyes on Jesus. And if you don't know what that means, open the Bible. Start in the book of John and find Jesus. If you have any questions, you sure can post them down below and I will get to answering them or directing you to somebody who can help you by answering any questions that you may have. I'm so thankful for this platform and for what God has given me in my heart to share with you. If I've ever misspoken about anything, again, feel free to put it in the comments. And if you're liking this content, give me a thumbs up. But my like comes from Jesus. I love to see that you're liking it, and I can maybe tweak things a little bit for y'all, but my direction comes from the Lord, and I will be sharing videos as long as he has me doing that for you. Thanks again, and have a great day.